Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dunks and Discussions, an NBA podcast. As always, I'm your host, Michael Riley, and today I am going to be going over the in-season tournament. The final 8 teams have been determined, and I'm going to go through who I think is going to be winning each game and who I think is going to be winning the first ever NBA Cup. Before I do that, I am just going to honestly play a little fast and loose here, just look through the standings and just give little tidbits and thoughts on various teams, like usual, just less structured. I don't have much, I don't really have much planned. When you look at the Eastern Conference, and yeah, I guess you can see again, no video, but I'm kind of liking it. I'm liking the audio only. Feels freer to just speak my mind. But let's just get right into it. When you're looking at the Eastern Conference, I already feel like I said this last week, things are shaping up in a fairly predictable fashion, especially when you look at the top 5. The top 5 teams, 4 of them were in the top 5 from last year. The only surprise being the Orlando Magic at the 2 seed right now, tied with the Bucks, 13-5. But yeah, you have the Celtics, Magic, Bucks, Sixers, and the New York Knicks as the top 5. Then you have the Pacers, Heat, and Cavs. And those 8 teams, besides the Pacers and Magic, they have been 2 of the biggest surprise teams this year. The rest of those 8 were the top teams, and the rest of those 6 were the top teams. I guess the Heat were an 8th seed last year, but they made the finals. They were a top 6 team in the East, clearly. They were a top 1 team in the East last year. But, who's counting? Yeah, but just looking at the rest of it, I don't know. I look down at the bottom, and the Hawks are kind of... I haven't watched them, so this is strictly just box score analysis, but they're kind of exactly the team they were last year. Just middle of the road. I don't know, not that good. Raptors, I feel the same exact way. I feel like I see the Raptors beat a good team, and then I see them lose to a bad team. I don't know. I just don't know what to think of them. I feel like the Raptors have a lot of very good players, but I don't know. I think it could be time to trade some of them, like maybe Pascal or OG. Just one of them, maybe. See what kind of deal gets made. But they're hovering around 500. The Brooklyn Nets hovering around 500. Not amazing, not bad. And then obviously the bottom, the East, not even worth our time. They're bad. Yeah, they're worth a little bit of time. I'll talk about them. Hornets, sucks for them. Lost LaMelo Ball for a little bit of time. They have very little polished NBA talent outside of their starting 5. And even then, their starting 5 it's not even one of the best starting 5s in the NBA. So it's sad that they are dealing with injuries. The Chicago Bulls need to blow it up. And then obviously the bottom 2 teams, Wizards and Pistons. I mean, they've been very bad. Worse than I could have expected for honestly either of them. But they weren't supposed to win. They were not. It's all about the players looking good. And you could argue that because they're losing, they don't look that good, but I don't know. There's still potential hope for those 2 franchises, just not this season. Western Conference, still much more fun. They also have a surprise team, the number 1 seed being the Timberwolves. I've talked a lot about them. Now it's not surprising. They're 13-4. That's close to like a good sample size. It's almost 20 games. And they've been this good. And they're going to stick around. Nuggets, 2 seed. Mavs, Thunder, Kings at the 5. it's a tight race. 6 Suns, Lakers, Rockets. It's crazy. Looking at the bottom 4 teams in the West right now are the Jazz, Portland Trailblazers, the Grizzlies, and the Spurs. I could see those 4 teams staying in those 4 or staying around those 4. The Jazz are good enough that they could stick around the 10 seed, but I don't think they'll make it. So then there's 11 teams fighting for those 10 spots. Right now the Clippers on the outside. I don't think the Clippers will stay on the outside, but that has 11 teams. And it's intense. There's a lot of kind of win now teams in the West, I would say. I'd say you go top to bottom. These teams aren't, when I say win now, I mean that these teams don't want to see mediocrity. Like even like they want to win. They want to make the playoffs and win in the playoffs, not just make it and lose. Timberwolves, they want to win. They put a big investment into Rudy. They have 2 very good players. They want to win now. Nuggets obviously want to win now. Mavs have Kyrie and Luka. You gotta win. Gotta win now to keep Luka. The Thunder, you could argue that they're a year ahead of their rebuild, but they want to win now. The Kings want to win now. They made the playoffs last year, but they lost in the first round, and they were the higher seeds. So they had home court advantage. They want to win now. Suns, obviously. Lakers, obviously. Rockets, not a win now. I'd say the Pelicans, not a win now either. So you're getting down a little to the bottom, not as many, but that's a lot of win now teams that really need to win. Otherwise, they're going to be close to like, oh, okay, what do we do now? But a couple of them are also on the rise, like the Thunder or the Kings. Very interesting. That's the landscape of the NBA right now. But what we're really here to talk about is the in-season tournament. First ever. The 8 teams, they're set. In the East, the Bucks are going to play the Knicks, and the Pacers are going to play the Celtics. And in the West, the Suns are going to play the Lakers, and the Pelicans are going to play the Kings. As far as teams I expected to be in versus teams that I didn't expect to be in, Celtics and Bucks, I really very much expected to make it. I'm a little sad the Miami Heat choked, and they let 2 teams from their group make it, and they weren't one of them by losing to them within about 5 days. That was annoying. I expected the Denver Nuggets to make it. I really did. It's a surprise they aren't here. Honestly, as well as the Timberwolves were playing, I'm surprised they didn't make it. But alas, there are 8 teams here, and I think they're all 8 good teams. No bad teams made it, like the Pistons. Obviously they only have 2 wins, but I was wondering if some very bad team, like the Wizards or the Hornets, the Spurs, I was wondering if some team like that might make it. But no. These are all teams that will at least be competing for the playoffs. And I'm excited for it. I think they're going to be good games. I'm excited to see who wins. I will start in the Western Conference. I'll start with the Lakers playing the Suns. I think they've played twice this year already. We all know that I'm a LeBron guy. And I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to pick the Lakers. I picked the Lakers to beat the Suns. And I feel good about it. Well, I don't know if I feel good about it. They did just lose. They just recently lost by 44 points. That's very, very bad. And I'm not picking them because they beat them twice. I'm picking them just because I think that the Lakers, when they play at their best, are a very, very good basketball team. And they have been a little inconsistent at times. They've had players struggle with consistency, even Anthony Davis this year. So it's going to be a matter of which Lakers team shows up that night. As for the Suns, I'm not really worried about them. When you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, those 2 guys give you the opposite problem. Not a problem. They're very consistent. They do what they do on a nightly basis, night in, night out, over and over. And it's just a matter of can you outpace them tonight or slow them down a little bit, because they're just going to keep doing it. But I'll take the Lakers over the Suns. As for the Kings and the Pelicans, that is a very interesting game. I think a casual fan would look at that and be like, "What? Who cares about these teams?" But if you actually watch the game, I bet it's going to be a good game. At the very least, these are two very fun teams to watch play. The Kings obviously made playoffs last year, so they have winning basketball now, and they have De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. They have a fun team to watch. And then, come on, Zion. That's must-see TV, assuming, well, of course, he plays. But I imagine he will. Brandon Ingram. These two teams, they have talent. They have fun teams to watch. I'm going to take the Kings. I'm going to take the Kings over the Pelicans. I really think that when the Sacramento Kings are clicking, they're a tough team to beat, especially just these past two regular seasons. They're a very tough team to beat when they have it going. And they kind of have it going. So I'll wait to do my semifinal prediction until I do the East. In the East, we have two pretty good matchups. The Milwaukee Bucks play the New York Knicks. In that one, I'm going to take the Milwaukee Bucks. Come on. When it comes down to it, I'm looking at the two teams on paper. The Bucks make more sense. And I'm going to take them. I think they want to win it. We all saw what Dame said about the $500K meaning a lot to the guys at the end of the bench. So I'm sure he wants to win it for those guys at the end of the Bucks bench. And the Knicks, they have surprised me. They came back on the Miami Heat, down like 21-22, just a few days or about a week ago. That was not very fun to watch. I hated that, but it happened. It's okay. I'm not bitter. I'm a little sad, but I'm not bitter. We did beat them in the playoffs last year, so it's okay. They hit a game winner on Julius Randle hit a game winner on us last year in Miami, and now this comeback. But okay, it's fine. They're a good team. They actually are a pretty good team. I still think that they lack the talent that some of the top teams in the East have. So they're going to really need to show that they just need to continue to win and beat good teams. So if they beat the Bucks, if they say win this NBA Cup, that could give at least people like me a little more confidence that they could actually beat the Celtics or the Bucks in a playoff series. Because right now, I just do not think for a second they would have a chance against them, the Bucks or the Celtics. I mean, they could win games. They're not a bad team, like I said. I just don't think that they would win a playoff series yet. So that's why I'm taking the Bucks. But again, this isn't a playoff series. It's just one game. Either team could win a game. I'll still take the Bucks. As for the other game, the Indiana Pacers will play the Boston Celtics. I'm going to take the Celtics. I mean, I want to see the Celtics and the Bucks play. I know the Pacers are fun to watch. I know JJ Redick really loves the Indiana Pacers. I know he loves to talk about them. He loves Tyrese Halliburton. I know a lot of people like Tyrese Halliburton. He is awesome. I agree. But I want to see the Bucks play the Celtics. We all want to see it in the playoffs. I want to see it now. I want to see it now. I want to see it next week. That's when I want to see it. I'm ready for it. Give it to me now. There's no Porzingis, maybe. Well, Porzingis could be back. Just give it to me. Give it to me. I want to. The NBA in-season tournament. I think it needs it. It needs some of these nice matchups. We already got LeBron and Kevin Durant with the Lakers and the Suns. Give us this Celtics-Bucks matchup. We need to see it. All right, so that would make my semifinals what would it be, the Lakers and Kings. I'm going to go in a different direction, and I'm going to say that the Kings will win. Yeah, I am. I'm going to say it. I wasn't even fully convinced until I uttered the word, but I said it now. The Kings are going to beat them. They're going to beat the Lakers. The Lakers, they're playing well recently, besides that 44-point loss. But, like I said, inconsistency. I could see them beating the Suns, and then not enough gas the next couple days to beat the Kings. You know, I'm not saying that I don't really know which team's better, but I think the Kings, if they're rolling, and they'll make it to that champ game. As for the other side, the Eastern Conference, the Bucks, Celtics, who would I take? Now I know they've played this year, but I do not remember who won. And I don't know if it is worth it to try and find out right now. But let me see if I can. Oh, the Celtics won. I found it very quickly. Celtics won by 3. And I am going to say, this is a tough one. I'm going to be honest, it's a tough one. Like I said, I wasn't that prepared for this. I came into this just ready, just on the fly, just thinking on the fly, seeing what comes up. I'm gonna say the Celtics. The Celtics have been rolling. I don't know. It's crazy how good they have looked over a consistent period, and they have changed coaches multiple times over the last 4 seasons. That's not an easy thing to do. They change like everything. A new head coach. They could change whatever the hell they want. So that's not an easy thing to go through. But you're keeping the same team together for a lot of it. And they just keep winning games, and they win in dominating fashion. And they just have 4 stars. So if Porzingis goes down, if Porzingis and Drew Holiday go down, it's not a big deal because let's just go rely on our 2 All NBA guys, one of whom is, talked about as a top 5 guy, a definite top 10 guy in the NBA, and Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown being the other guy. For those who may not know. But I'm going to take them. I think that would be a very good game. I just hope they get to play. And that would make my champ game the Celtics and the Kings. And I'm going to say the Celtics win it. I don't want them to win it. That just would suck. But I was going to say Kings. And I was like, you know what? I didn't feel it. I don't see the Kings win anything, And it's no disrespect. That's not even disrespect. That's just like my life. I've never seen the Kings win anything. How can I pick the Kings to win the whole thing? It just never happens. Getting there, I could see that. But now winning it over the Celtics, I don't know. Man, I don't feel confident about those picks at all, but I don't really care. I just wanted to make them. And now they're out in the world. So you heard it here first. Celtics are going to beat the Kings on December 9th in the championship in Vegas. Ideally, what would I want to see the most? I mean, obviously, I want the Lakers to be there. And I feel like if we got either Lakers, Celtics, or Lakers, Bucks, that would be pretty cool. If it wasn't the Lakers, I would probably want the Suns to make it over the Kings. Either one, but come on. Especially if Bradley Beal were to come back and the big 3 would play Durant, Booker, and Beal. Suns, Bucks would be pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool one. Yeah, I like the marquee ones. Again, I know that makes me sound like a casual, but these other teams, again, the Kings are actually very exciting. I would really like that. I would put them right next to the Suns for me in terms of entertainment value. And as for the Pacers, I just don't have League Pass, so I can't watch all of the games. I get a lot of the nationally televised games, and guess what? These 4 teams have been on national television a lot. I've seen a lot of the Lakers. I've seen a lot of the Bucks. I've seen a lot of the Suns. I have seen a good amount of the Celtics. I've seen so much of the Clippers. You have no idea, just because they're the only team. Them and the Lakers are the only team that play late at night. Them and the Warriors. I've seen a lot of the Warriors. I don't have League Pass. And these other teams are League Pass teams. That's just how it is. The Kings don't get the respect. The Pacers don't get the respect from the media. That's just not how it works. So I could get League Pass, but you know what? Call me cheap. I don't want it right now. I'm chilling. I'm going through. There's condensed game highlights on YouTube, not just 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I can see stuff. But yeah, and I'm still watching games. I'm watching the games I want to see. I don't know who I'm defending myself against. I'm talking to a wall. But like literally, I'm looking at a wall. But yeah, I don't know. Not that any of the other teams. I mean, it could be the Pelicans Pacers in the championship. I'm gonna watch it. I'll still watch it. I don't think that'll happen, but I'll watch that. Those could be the teams of the future. Those could be the teams of the 2020s. They have young core. They both have young stars. I mean, there are other teams to think could be better than them, but you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying, right? Like Zion is, if he can ever stay healthy and not have to rest, going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. And obviously Tyrese Halliburton is maybe making that jump into the superstar status. Like if as long as we got this guy, we can win games type of status. He's that good. And now I'm just rambling. I should probably call it another short one. Like I said, not as many concrete thoughts besides going through the tournament. I'm excited for it. I do think that we got 8 good teams. Probably not the 4 that would be most picked if you did a poll of 100,000 people, but these are 8 teams that will give us, I think, some good basketball games. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I am kind of hoping for a Lakers victory, but that does set them up to lose in the playoffs and have everyone say, "Oh, enjoy that NBA Cup." It will be interesting to see what the media says about it. What, just social media has to say about the winner between now and the playoffs, and then what happens after playoffs. It is going to be interesting because the effects of this in-season tournament will not be over on December 9th. They will continue throughout the whole season. I don't know how much it'll get picked up until the playoffs start, but once the playoffs start, and let's say the Bucks won the NBA Cup, and they get down 3-2 in the series against the Celtics in conference finals or something, it's like, oh, did the NBA in-season tournament matter? Like, what did that even prove? I don't know. It'll be interesting. They're going to talk about it again, assuming whoever wins the in-season tournament makes the playoffs and starts to lose, yada yada. It'll happen. Yeah, but that's what I think. That's another short one. I'll be. I'm going to get a consistent schedule. Just you wait. It'll happen. But for now, they just come out. You never know. I'm just looking around the corner, and then boom, new episode. Boom. But yeah, all right. That's NBA. Thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you next time.